Everyone's story is different, but for many of our clients, it starts right here in Lithuania. Let's hear from one of them about why they chose Baltic Capital Partners and how we made their EU residency simple.
Everybody has different motivations for wanting to gain EU residency for themselves or for their whole family. For me, I just love Europe. I studied in Europe when I was younger. I worked in Europe for 5 years in my 30s. Both my children were born in Europe and they actually have dual citizenship. I don't, unfortunately. And, one of my children is currently living and working in France, and I really wanted just the opportunity to be able to stay longer than 3 months if I wanted to, or if I needed to, and also to be able to have the opportunity to work here again is like a dream come true. I'll be honest, when I first subscribed on the Baltic Capital Partners website, I was a little skeptical. And, how could you gain residency so quickly? And to be fair, I probably thought it was going to be too expensive for me. But I remained subscribed and, received all their email updates on their service and also what was sort of happening within the EU in terms of residency in other countries and regulation, rules, the changes, obviously the different options, golden visas, and really what was happening sort of across the board. And, I guess that sort of instilled an ongoing credibility for me, just their depth of knowledge and their consistency with their communication. And so, I got to a point, I think this was after 12 months, I just decided to make an appointment and just find out once and for all what it was about and the costs. And I have to say it was, one of the best decisions I've made in a long time. So I made the appointment with Aaron, and I believe it was the following day that I went ahead with the service. I paid my money, and then, by the end of that week, I had my online application lodged, which was just, phenomenal in terms of the speed and the action and the professionalism in the follow-up once I'd committed. The experience with the VIP Gateway to Europe EU residency service through Baltic Capital Partners, it really is as they advertise. It's a VIP experience, unlocking, Europe for you through that residency. And on arrival, when I went to Vilnius, Lithuania, to do my biometrics, in terms of, what they offer, what they say they're going to do, it's exactly as they say. There's somebody to greet you at the airport, chauffeur-driven limousine back to your, I had a stunning apartment in the Old Town, which was mine for the duration of the stay. Following day, I went to their offices on the top floor of the Europa building, and really there you start to get, it's lovely meeting everyone, but you start to get a sense of, I guess, what they're achieving and the community they're building, which was lovely. Next step, after meeting everyone, I was accompanied down to my biometric appointment, which was incredibly speedy. I think my actual engagement with the agent there was, I was through in 10 minutes. And then, we all, went out for lunch. It was lovely getting to know people, lots of joyous conversations, and it really also motivated me to understand a little bit more around the other services, financial services, and that Baltic Capital Partners offer, and in the Baltic. So that's something I'm exploring at the moment. So if you're curious about the service on offer, I would just urge you, like I did, make an appointment time. It's 30 minutes out of your life, and that way you can make the most informed decision for you personally, your personal circumstances. But yeah, look, it's been wonderful for me. After my biometrics, I received my EU residency card in 3 weeks. So if you've got any queries on that process, then I hope I've clarified that what they say is actually what happens.
Another success story made possible by Baltic Capital Partners, your gateway to Europe.